The Strange Bride Auction. The space station smelled like old wires and smoke. Humans were rare here. Most were traders or criminals. Jacob was just a cargo pilot, tired and lonely. He had no family, no friends, only a small ship and broken dreams. He walked through the market slowly. Alien lights flashed everywhere. Vendors shouted in strange languages. Metal hands waved fake gold and alien food. He ignored them. He was not here for fun. Then he heard it. Human man. This way. Special item. Just for you. Jacob turned. A short alien with green skin and wide eyes waved him over. The alien looked nervous. "What do you want?" Jacob asked. "Not what I want," the alien whispered. "What you need. Follow me. Only 5 credits to see." Jacob hesitated, but something in the alien's voice felt serious. Like a secret, he followed. The alien led him through the back of the market, past rusted doors and flickering lights. They came to a room lit by a single blue lamp. Inside stood a tall figure, covered in a dark cloak. The figure didn't move, didn't speak. "This," the alien whispered, "is the bride." Jacob blinked. "A what?" "A bride. Contract is clean. No past. No voice. But loyal. Gentle. She was found alone. No memory. She waits for a husband. And she chose you." Jacob laughed. "Me? Why?" "She saw your face in the crowd," the alien said. "She pointed at you. First time she moved in days." Jacob looked at the figure. The cloak hid everything. Face, hands, even the feet. Only a soft glow under the hood. She didn't speak. Didn't even shake. "What species is she?" "Unknown," the alien said too fast. "Maybe mixed. She passed health scan. She is safe." Jacob narrowed his eyes. "How much?" "Only 10 credits. Just pay the marriage fee. No tricks." Too cheap, Jacob thought. Way too cheap. Something was wrong. But he stared at her. Something inside him moved. Maybe it was her silence. Her stillness. Maybe it was her soft breathing. The way she tilted her head slightly, like she was listening. Like she knew him already. "Does she agree?" Jacob asked. "This isn't slavery." The cloaked figure slowly nodded. Once. Small, but clear. Jacob swallowed. "Fine. I'll take her." The alien's face broke into a wide smile. He handed Jacob a small device. "Put your thumb here. It's a legal bond." Jacob pressed his thumb. The device beeped. Lights flashed. The cloaked figure stepped forward. Her hand reached out, gentle and warm. He took it. Her fingers were longer than a human's, but soft. She pressed her hand to his chest. A strange but peaceful feeling passed through him. "What's her name?" Jacob asked. The alien paused. "She never gave one." "Then I'll call her Lyra," Jacob said. The figure nodded again. They left the market together. No one followed. No one stopped them. Jacob took her back to his ship. People stared. Some whispered. One alien merchant muttered, "Fool, you don't know what you bought." Inside the ship, Jacob showed her the small rooms. She didn't speak. She just watched. Her eyes, hidden under the hood, seemed bright. Intelligent. Maybe sad. "You can rest here," he said, pointing to the bunk. "This will be your space." She nodded. "You hungry?" She shook her head. "You understand me." She picked up a small tablet, typed, "Yes." "Why don't you talk?" She wrote, "It's better this way." Jacob felt a chill. "Are you in danger?" She wrote, "Not from you." He sat down, tired. She stood quietly across from him. No fear, no anger, just silence. "Why me?" he asked. "Why did you choose me?" She paused. Then typed slowly, "You are kind. You don't know it, but you are." His heart thumped. He looked away. For the next few days, she cleaned the ship, made food, and fixed a broken wire system in the control room. She never complained, never slept much. Every night, she sat near the window and stared at the stars. Jacob started to feel calm around her. Maybe this wasn't so bad. Maybe he was lucky. But one night, while fixing a panel, he heard two aliens whispering outside his ship. "That's the one who took her. They should have burned her pod. It's too late now. She's bonded." Jacob stepped outside. "What did you say?" "The aliens ran away." Jacob turned back toward his ship. Inside, Lyra was staring at the stars again. "She watches the moon every night." The ship was quiet, too quiet. Jacob had always hated silence. Silence reminded him of the cold cargo runs through dead space, of empty rooms, of people who left. But now, living with Lyra, the silence had changed. It wasn't lonely anymore. It was different, like standing in a peaceful forest where something powerful slept beneath the ground. But tonight, something felt wrong. The clock blinked 3:21. Jacob rubbed his eyes. The bed was cold. He reached across and realized she wasn't there. Again. This was the third night in a row. He pulled on a jacket and stepped into the hallway. The lights were dimmed, humming faintly. The ship gently floated near a small moon they had stopped by to refuel and rest. He walked toward the upper deck. Quiet footsteps, careful breath. He found her on the roof of the ship, sitting cross-legged, her hood down, face glowing in the pale light of the moon. Her eyes shimmered with silver, locked onto the pale sphere above. She looked so still, so lost, like a statue from another world. He didn't speak at first. Then softly, "You've been coming here every night." She didn't look at him. Her voice was quiet, like wind inside a cave. "I remember this moon, but I've never been here before." Jacob frowned. "How is that possible?" "I don't know," she said, "but it seems to me. Every night. Louder." Jacob sat beside her. The silence between them was heavy, not uncomfortable, but waiting. "You remember something?" he asked. "Your past?" She nodded slowly. "Just feelings, flashes, like dreams." He watched her carefully. She was changing. Her posture had grown more confident, her silence deeper, not empty. Her hands sometimes twitched like they remembered weapons. She moved like she had been trained, but not recently, long ago. "What kind of dreams?" Jacob asked. She finally looked at him. Her eyes weren't just silver. They were layered, like glass over oceans, like they held time. "I dream of being locked in white rooms, floating in liquid, voices around me, machines watching me, calling me Subject Zero. Sometimes I see stars exploding. Sometimes I see people bowing." Jacob felt his breath catch. "Were you made?" Lyra didn't answer. Instead, she asked, "Do you trust me, Jacob?" He didn't speak for a long time. Then, finally, "Yes, but I'm also scared. I won't lie." She nodded. "Good. Keep that fear. It will protect you." That sentence hit him like ice. He stood slowly. "I'm going to check the ship's systems," he said. "You don't believe I'm safe," she said softly. "I think you're not sure yourself," he replied. The next morning, he checked the ship's computer logs. Every time they passed near moons or large satellites, she became restless. Her heart rate spiked. She didn't eat. She stayed up all night. He ran a scan of her sleeping area. Strange energy spikes, low radiation, patterns, circular symbols burned softly into the floor. He didn't know how she made them. He didn't think she even knew. He sent a quiet message to a medical station nearby. "Need help with unknown species. Memory issues, strange behavior, possible danger." No reply came. Until hours later, when a single message arrived. "Do not here, near a full moon. Leave orbit now." Jacob stared at the message. Then alarms blared. Outside, the moon was turning red. Not naturally. As if reacting to something on the ship. Jacob ran to the roof. Lyra was standing now, arms out, face toward the sky. Her eyes were closed. She whispered something in a language Jacob didn't know. The moon pulsed once, then twice. Suddenly, a beam of light shot from the sky. Just light, no sound, and touched the hull near her. Jacob screamed, "Lyra, get back inside." She turned slowly. Her body was glowing. Not like a normal glow. This was alive. Patterns on her skin, ancient markings, like a map written in stars. Her face looked older, wiser, more alien than human. "They found me," she whispered. Who? Who found you?" Her body trembled, not from fear, but from holding something back. "My people," she said, "or what's left of them. They left a code in every moon. A call, a warning, and now it's awake. You said you didn't remember." "I lied," she said gently. "I wanted peace. I wanted to stay quiet. But you were kind, and kindness wakes old things." Jacob pulled her down into the ship. As he sealed the hatch, a blast hit the ship from orbit. He stumbled. She held him steady. "You're in danger now," she said. "Because of me." Jacob's voice shook. "What do they want?" "To finish what they started. To control me, or to destroy me." He stared at her. "What are you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she reached out, touched his forehead. And for a second, he saw her past. White labs, screaming, a needle in her chest, glowing eyes watching, voices chanting in alien tongue. One final order: she must never bond. Jacob pulled back, gasping. What was that? "My truth," she said, "but only a piece." "Why me?" he asked again. "Why did you choose me?" "Because they said I wasn't allowed to love. And you were the only one who didn't ask for anything." He couldn't speak. Outside, the red light from the moon grew stronger. They had to leave. "Strap in," Jacob said. "We're running." She nodded, but her face was unreadable. As the ship pulled away, Jacob looked one last time at the moon. It flashed, once, like a blinking eye, and then faded. He didn't know what they had awoken, but he knew now. Lyra wasn't just a mysterious bride. She was something else, and he was already too deep to escape. Warning from the alien doctor. The ship was running, but Jacob knew they couldn't run forever. The engines were burning hot. The systems overloaded. Alarms blinked silently on the screen. Even though he pushed the ship to its limits, something inside told him it wasn't the outside threat he needed to fear. It was Lyra. She sat silently in the co-pilot's seat, hands folded, eyes closed. Her breathing was calm. But Jacob could still see the marks on her arms. The glowing patterns had not faded. If anything, they had become brighter. "We need answers," he muttered. They couldn't keep hiding. They needed help. Not from soldiers. Not from bounty hunters. From a doctor. The med station floated above a quiet asteroid field. It was old, half-abandoned, used by smugglers and lost travelers. No government. No rules. Only a price for everything. Jacob paid in fuel credits. The dockmaster didn't ask questions. Inside, the hallways smelled of rust and medicine. The lights flickered. Metal arms moved through the shadows, cleaning and scanning. Dr. Saren was the only one working there, a tall, thin alien with 4 eyes and no mouth. He spoke through a small voice box tied to his neck. Jacob explained nothing. Just said, "She needs a checkup." The doctor scanned Lyra without touching her. His 4 eyes moved rapidly. The machines beeped. The lights dimmed. Something in the air changed. Then the doctor froze. Jacob saw the screen. It was full of red symbols, warning signs. "What is it?" Jacob asked. The doctor didn't answer. He walked into another room and shut the door. Jacob waited, nervous. Lyra looked away. Minutes passed. Then the door opened again. The doctor stood there, shaking. His voice box crackled. You married her. Jacob blinked. Yes. Why? The doctor pointed to the screen. This is not a normal life form. Not one species. Her blood carries ancient data, spliced genomes from 6 civilizations. One of them is extinct, 2 are forbidden, and 1 doesn't exist in any record. Jacob stared. What does that mean? The doctor's voice dropped. She was made, not born, but not by machines. She was crafted, like art or a weapon. Jacob looked at Lyra. Did you know? She didn't move. Do you know what you are? He asked again, louder. Lyra turned her head slowly. I remember pieces. The doctor cut in. You must leave her here. Now. For your safety. Jacob shook his head. No, she's my wife. The doctor stepped closer. Then listen carefully. She's entering second phase. Her form, this human-like shape, it won't last. Jacob felt cold. What happens in second phase? The doctor looked at Lyra. Her body changes. Her memory returns. And so does her design. If she was made to be a weapon, then when she unlocks, no one can stop her. Lyra stood. I never wanted this. I ran. I hid. I thought if I bonded with a human, the process would stop. Jacob asked, what process? Her voice was soft, but full of pain. Awakening. Jacob turned to the doctor. Can we stop it? The doctor's voice was grim. No, the bond with you. It made things worse. It unlocked her emotions, and her emotions are linked to her power. Now it's only a matter of time. Then something else beeped. A security screen flashed red. 3 ships were approaching. Unknown signatures. High speed. The doctor turned pale. You were followed. Lyra's eyes went wide. They're here. Jacob grabbed her hand. Come on. We need to run. The doctor shouted. Wait. They turned. He looked at Lyra. If they take you, they'll rip you apart again. Study you. Make more of you. If you care about this human, then leave now. Disappear. Don't return to known space. Jacob nodded. Thank you. The doctor didn't smile. Don't thank me. I just hope I don't see your face on a death broadcast. The ship shot out of the med station seconds before it exploded behind them. A silent missile had hit the base. No warning. Jacob looked at the fire through the rear window. They didn't want him to speak. Lyra looked down. Her hands were glowing again. They'll keep coming, she said. They can smell me across stars now. Why? Jacob asked. What are you to them? She closed her eyes. Their mistake. Later that night, Jacob sat alone in the ship's kitchen. He played the doctor's scan on loop. Dina charts, strange symbols. One file stood out, marked subject, bride type zeta. He opened it. Inside was a log entry from someone unknown. Type zeta showed extreme emotional instability. Bonding with lower species activates ancient sequences. Subject cannot be controlled after phase 2. Recommend destruction or permanent isolation. Jacob leaned back in his chair. He had married something that even her creators feared. Then he heard something. A voice. Not Lyra's. A soft, broken whisper from the ship's speaker system. He doesn't know. He thinks he chose her. Jacob froze. He ran to the control room. The screen flashed. Incoming signal. Source unknown. Encrypted. He opened the message. Just one sentence. She didn't choose you. She was programmed to find you. On the run. The stars looked cold tonight. Jacob stared through the ship's window, eyes tired. They had jumped through 5 systems in less than 2 days. Every time they thought they were safe, something appeared. A silent probe, a dark shadow, a whisper on the comms. Always watching, always closer. Lyra sat across from him in silence, her hood pulled over her glowing eyes. The strange lines on her arms had spread to her neck now, pulsing like veins made of light. Jacob could still hear the voice from the last transmission in his mind. She didn't choose you. She was programmed to find you. He hadn't told her about that. Not yet. The truth was already too heavy between them. Where are we going? Lyra asked quietly. Somewhere they won't follow, Jacob said. They'll always follow, she whispered. Jacob stood. Then we'll make it hard for them. He pressed a button on the control panel. The ship's course changed toward a gas giant with deep rings and hidden moons. There was an old pirate hideout there. He remembered it from years ago. If it was still working, they could hide. Maybe. But hours later, as the ship entered the outer rings of the gas giant, Jacob saw something on the scanner. A ship. No signal. No name. No power signature. Just floating. Waiting. Jacob turned off all lights. Lyra stepped beside him. That's not one of theirs. How do you know? I remember its shape, she said. From before. Jacob looked at her. You're remembering more, aren't you? Lyra didn't answer. The scanner blinked again. The strange ship was moving, slowly rotating, like it had just woken up. Jacob hit the thrusters. Their ship shot forward, diving into the thick gas cloud. Static buzzed on the screens. Lightning flashed outside. But the enemy ship didn't follow. Not yet. They landed on a dead moon hidden inside the ring. Jacob powered everything down. Total darkness. No signals. Only silence. The inside of the ship felt small now. The air tense. Jacob turned to Lyra. What else aren't you telling me? Lyra looked at him with soft eyes. You're afraid. I have a right to be. Yes, she said, but you're also strong. Don't do that, he said. Don't change the subject. Tell me the truth. She looked down. Then slowly she raised her hand. Do you want to see what I see? Jacob hesitated, then nodded. She touched his forehead gently. Her skin felt warm, then cold, then FLA-ish. He saw machines, thousands of them, building her. Not metal machines, living ones, made of vines, crystal, and light. They weaved her from threads of lost languages and dead stars. She floated in a glass sphere, eyes closed, while her creators argued. If she bonds with a human, the transformation will be final. Then let her choose. If it is true love, she will awaken what we failed to create. And if not, then she will die, as she should have long ago. Then he saw faces, tall alien figures, sad eyes, watching her sleep. And then, burning. The labs, the creators, everything. Fire, screaming, and she escaped, alone. Jacob fell back, gasping. What was that? My birth, she said, and my curse. They made you to love someone. She nodded, and they hoped it would kill me. Jacob shook his head. That's insane. To them, she said, emotion was danger, bonding was weakness. They wanted power without feeling. But one of them, one old scientist, believed love could unlock something stronger. So they made you. Yes. Jacob sat down, shaking. Then why do they want you back now? Because I bonded, she said. And I lived. Now they're afraid. Suddenly, alarm screamed. Jacob ran to the control panel. A message appeared. Surrender subject-zeta, or face delety. A shadow covered the moon. They were here. Again. The strange ship that waited in the gas cloud had followed them. It now hovered over the small moon like a predator. Jacob checked the weapons. Nothing powerful enough to fight. We have to leave, he said. No, Lyra said. I'll go. What? If I go, they might spare you. They won't. You don't know that. Jacob grabbed her shoulders. Yes, I do. You don't understand. They're scared of you. They'll tear you apart just to control what's inside you. "And if I stay," she said, "they'll keep chasing us forever." Jacob looked at her, really looked, not at the glowing skin or alien patterns, but at the woman, the silent one who fixed his ship, who listened to his pain, who chose him, even if it was part of some program. Or maybe, even if it wasn't. "Then we fight," Jacob said, "together." Lyra looked surprised. "You're choosing death." "No," he said. "I'm choosing you." He opened a secret panel beneath the ship. Inside was an old pulse bomb, unstable, illegal, and very loud. Jacob turned it on. "We'll fly straight at them," he said. "Drop this into their hull. While their systems reset, we jump. And if they shoot first." Jacob smiled sadly. "Then we never find out what you would have become." Lyra stepped forward and kissed his forehead. Her touch was fire and ice, stars and silence. "Thank you," she said, "for seeing me." They flew toward the enemy ship fast, too fast. Alarms roared. Lights flashed red. Jacob shouted, "Drop the charge." Lyra pressed the button. The bomb launched, and the enemy ship fired. Boom! A wall of light swallowed everything. When Jacob opened his eyes, he was floating. Stars spun around him. The ship was damaged, but still alive. Lyra was beside him. Her face was glowing brighter than ever, but she was smiling. "They're gone," she whispered. "For now," Jacob said. He took her hand. "We need a new plan," he said. "Somewhere they'll never think to look." "Where?" she asked. He looked at her and said, "Home." The queen within the sky above the hidden planet was purple. Jacob had never seen a sky like that before. Soft clouds, floating islands, light that never truly became night or day. It was a forgotten world, lost in old maps, hidden deep behind decayed wormholes. No one came here. Even pirates whispered stories about this place and avoided it. Perfect for hiding. Perfect for her. Jacob stepped out of the ship, the ground soft under his boots. Plants grew in strange shapes, glowing gently in the shadows. The air was thick but breathable. He turned to help Lyra down from the ramp. She didn't take his hand. She didn't need to anymore. For 3 days, Jacob watched her change. She no longer ate or drank. She didn't sleep. Instead, she walked barefoot through the strange trees, sometimes standing still for hours. Her eyes were always glowing now, her skin marked with deeper patterns. Her voice had changed, too, softer, slower, but with something behind it. Something ancient. Jacob tried not to be afraid. But he was. On the 4th day, she spoke to him suddenly. "This place remembers me." He looked up. She stood near the edge of a cliff, her hair flowing in wind that didn't touch him. "What do you mean?" "This was once my people's world," she said. "A throne planet, not of kings, but of queens." Jacob walked to her side. "What happened to them?" "They vanished," she said. "Or they were erased." "By who?" "By fear." Jacob didn't ask more. Some truths were too large to carry. That night, Jacob was repairing a solar panel when he heard a sound behind him. Not footsteps. Knees. He turned and saw 2 alien figures. Tall, cloaked, kneeling in front of Lyra. One spoke in a broken voice, low and full of awe. "My queen, you survived." Jacob's breath caught. He stepped forward, but Lyra raised one hand. The aliens did not attack. They bowed deeper. Jacob whispered, "What are they?" "My watchers," she said. "They were placed across time to wait." "Wait for what?" "My return," she said softly. "And now, I am returning." The watchers brought old relics, strange stones, golden discs, memory seeds. They placed them at her feet and chanted in a language Jacob couldn't understand. When she touched the stones, flashes of her past lit her eyes. Her body began to change more. She grew taller. Her voice echoed without sound. Her hands shimmered like energy. The transformation had begun, and this time She didn't resist it. She was becoming her true form. And Jacob could feel it in the air, something powerful, something divine, and something not human. The next morning, Lyra found him sitting near a dead tree. "You're quiet," she said. "I'm still here," he replied. "But you're wondering how much longer you can stay." He didn't answer. She sat beside him. Though she no longer moved like a person, she hovered, soft and light, like the air bent around her. "Are you afraid of me now?" she asked. Jacob nodded, honest. "Yes, a little." She didn't seem hurt. "Instead," she said, "good. Fear means your soul is awake." He looked at her. "Why me, Lyra? Why not someone stronger? Wiser? Someone like you?" She looked out over the purple horizon. "Because you saw me when I was small, broken. You gave me peace. My people made me with power. But you gave me something they could never build, love." Jacob blinked hard. "So, what happens now?" "I become what I was made to be," she said. "And then I choose who I really am." But the galaxy was already watching. News had leaked. Someone had survived the pulse explosion. Someone glowing. Someone with power. Old governments began scanning lost space. Ships moved quietly toward their location. And deep in the core worlds, a new order was rising. A circle of leaders, warlords, scientists. They called themselves the Reshapers. Their message was simple. She must be claimed, or destroyed, before others begin to believe in her. They knew what Lyra becoming queen would mean. Hope, change, chaos. And Jacob, he was the key. He was her bond. He was her weakness. One night, Jacob found a message left on the ship. No signature, no sound, just a glowing word floating in air. "Leave her now, or we take your mind." He showed Lyra. She stared at it. "They're getting desperate," she said. "What does it mean? Take my mind." "They want to erase you," she said. "Cut you from me. Break the bond." Jacob swallowed. "Can they?" "Only if I let them." "Will you?" She turned to him. Her eyes were galaxies now. "Never." But things were getting worse. Storms began forming across the planet. Not natural ones. Storms of memory. Lyra stood in the middle of them, calling names no one remembered. Her skin cracked with light. Her voice sang in languages lost to time. Jacob could barely stand near her without shaking, and the watchers kept bowing lower, crying, calling her goddess, mother, last star. Jacob was losing her, and he knew it. One evening, Lyra came to him. Her eyes were clear. Her voice was soft. "The last gate has opened," she said. "I must step through." "What's on the other side?" Jacob asked. "Truth," she said, "and choice." "Will you come back?" She smiled. "That depends. Do you still want a wife, who is also a queen?" Jacob stood, took her hand, and said, "I want you, whatever you are." She kissed him once, and then walked into the storm. Light swallowed her. The sky cracked. The planet shook. And Jacob, standing alone beneath the purple clouds, whispered to the stars, "Come back to me." The true form awakens. The storm had not stopped for 3 days. The sky above the forgotten planet was now black, torn open by lightning that didn't flash. It sang. Purple rivers flowed upward into the clouds. Rocks floated in the air like they had forgotten gravity, and the watchers knelt in circles, faces pressed into the soil, chanting in a language no longer spoken by living worlds. Jacob had not slept. He stood at the edge of the storm, staring into the light that spun like a slow, glowing hurricane. She was still inside. Lyra, his wife, his queen, his unknown. The ship's readings were broken. No scanner could understand what was happening on the planet now. The computer kept repeating one line. UNDEFINED energy. UNDEFINED energy. UNDEFINED. Jacob turned it off. He didn't need machines to tell him what he already felt in his bones. Something old was waking up, and it was inside her. On the morning of the fourth day, the storm stopped. No warning, no sound, just silence. Deep, heavy silence. The watchers stood, their eyes wide and glowing. Jacob stepped forward, hands shaking. The light in the center of the storm faded, and from it, she walked out. Not Lyra. And yet, still Lyra. Her body was no longer like before. She was taller now, at least 8 feet. Her skin shimmered like starlight, changing color as she moved. Strange symbols floated just above her shoulders like glowing rings. Her hair flowed upward, slow and soft, as if she walked through water. And her eyes. They were not eyes. They were windows into deep space. Jacob felt something in his chest the moment he saw her. A mix of love and fear, beauty and power, home and exile. She stood before him and smiled. He took one step forward. "Lyra?" he asked, voice dry. Her voice echoed through the air, inside the trees, under the soil. "Yes, I am still me." He felt tears rise in his eyes. She stepped closer, but her feet did not touch the ground. She floated. "It's done," she said. "I am complete." "What does that mean?" he asked. "I remember everything," she said. "Who I am, what I was made for, what I must become." "And what is that?" he whispered. "Balance," she said. "The galaxy forgot what it means to be alive. They build war, not wonder. Control, not care. I was made to break that cycle." Jacob blinked. "How?" "By existing," she said. "By standing in the open. By refusing to be a secret." He looked down. "They'll come for you." "They already are." She nodded. "I know. They'll want to destroy you." "Yes. And me." "They'll want to erase you," she said, "because you are my bond. And they fear what I became because of love." Jacob looked up at her glowing form. "Are you still you?" "Yes," she said. "And more." He reached out a hand. She placed hers into his. Her fingers were light, but solid. A heartbeat still pulsed in her wrist. Jacob laughed, shaky. "You're still warm." "I will always be warm with you," she said. But the galaxy did not give her time. 2 days later, they arrived. Not just hunters. Not just soldiers. A fleet. Hundreds of ships surrounded the hidden planet. They had tracked her light, followed her signal. The reshippers had come to claim the queen or burn the world down. They sent one message. Jacob read it aloud, voice flat. "You have 1 hour. Surrender the entity, or we turn the planet to ash." The watchers said nothing. They only turned and looked at Lyra, waiting for her answer. Jacob turned to her. "What now?" She looked at him. "I speak." She floated into the sky, high above the ground, above the watchers, above the trees, until all the ships could see her. No weapons, no armor, just her, shining like a second star. She spoke. No ship could block the signal. No captain could silence it. "I am Lyra," she said. "I am not your mistake. I am your mirror. You created me from fear. I now stand in truth. You wanted to control love, but love cannot be owned. You tried to bury me, but roots grow in darkness. You tried to break me, but I became whole. I am not your weapon. I am not your slave. I am not your secret. I am the queen you feared, and I am not alone." Jacob watched from the ground, tears running down his face. He had never felt smaller. He had never felt prouder. The ships did not fire. They waited, unsure. The reshippers argued over signals. Some said to destroy her. Others said to kneel. The galaxy was changing. Because of one voice, one choice, one love. That night, Lyra returned to Jacob. She stood in the doorway of the ship, her glow softer now. "They didn't shoot," he said. "No," she whispered. "Not yet. What happens now?" She looked up at the stars. "We write the next part." Jacob took her hand. "Together." She smiled. "Always. Love after the storm." The storm had ended, but the silence that followed was louder than war. For 3 days, the ship stayed in orbit, watching, waiting. Their weapons were hot. Their leaders were afraid, not because of what Lyra had said, but because she had spoken at all. And the galaxy had listened. Across hundreds of systems, her signal had spread. People had heard her voice, not just aliens, not just warriors. Children, workers, forgotten tribes. Even in broken cities and dust-covered stations, her words had echoed. "You cannot own love. I am not your secret. I am the queen you feared." Inside their small ship, Jacob and Lyra sat facing each other. The light outside had softened. The world no longer trembled, but something still hung in the air. A choice. Jacob spoke first. "They're not leaving." Lyra nodded. "They want a response." "What if you go with them?" he asked. "As a leader." "They don't want a leader," she said. "They want control." Jacob sighed. "So we run again." Lyra looked down at her hands. They were still glowing, but now the light flickered. Weaker, quieter. Jacob noticed. "You're fading." "No," she said. "I'm settling." "What does that mean?" "I used to carry too much," she whispered. "Power, memory, pain. Now, it's becoming part of me. I'm not burning anymore. I'm living." Jacob reached across and touched her hand. It was warm, real, not light, not energy, just skin, just her. Suddenly, the ship's comm system clicked. A voice came through. Calm, official, human. "This is Commander Elevairos of the Reshapers. I request a conversation with the human male, Jacob." Jacob and Lyra looked at each other. "They want you," she said. Jacob stood, tense. "I'll talk, but only if you're with me." Lyra hesitated. "They may try to separate us." "Let them try," Jacob said. They stood outside the ship. A small vessel landed near them. From it stepped a tall woman in gray armor, short white hair, eyes like glass. "Commander Elevairos." She did not bow, did not salute, only stared at Lyra for a long moment, then turned to Jacob. "You love her," she said. Jacob nodded. "Yes. Even now. Especially now." Ella looked back at Lyra. "You are powerful," she said, "but unstable, unpredictable. Many still vote to destroy you." "And yet you came alone," Lyra said. "I wanted to see the truth," Ella replied. She stepped closer, looked into Lyra's glowing eyes. "You're not what we feared." "No," Lyra said, "but I am what you made." Ella paused, then asked, "What do you want?" Lyra did not speak. Jacob answered for her. "A home, safety, a place to be left alone." Ella crossed her arms. "That won't happen. You've become a symbol." "Then maybe the galaxy needs a new symbol," Jacob said. Ella looked at him with surprise. Then she smiled. "You were the unknown variable," she said. "The bond, the heart." She turned to leave. "What does that mean?" Jacob asked. "It means some of us are tired of fear," she said. "It means we will vote again." The next day, the ships disappeared, one by one, quietly. No war, no fire, no final threat. Just a choice made somewhere far away. And for the first time, Jacob and Lyra were alone again. Truly alone. Weeks passed. The planet began to bloom. Lyra no longer glowed like before. Her power still lived inside her, but she used it differently now. To heal, to grow, to build. Jacob helped her raise a small shelter near the river. Together, they crafted walls from living trees and skystone. The watchers left, fading into the soil like seeds returning home. Even the stars above looked gentler. Sometimes, they spoke of leaving, of returning to space, but they never rushed. They had time now, and time was a gift. One evening, Jacob sat beside Lyra as the purple sun set. He held her hand. No glow, no magic, just fingers, just warmth. "Do you ever miss what you were?" he asked. She leaned against him. "Sometimes," she said, "but only because I thought I had to be that person to matter. And now I just want to matter. To you." Jacob kissed her forehead. "You always did." Far across the stars, in hidden places, others had started to whisper. About a queen who walked away from power. About a man who taught a weapon how to be human. About a bond that broke the system. About love, not as weakness, but as a force. And that, some say, is how the galaxy began to change. Not through war, not through orders, but through a marriage no one understood, until it was too late. The end.